Hello, 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 and welcome to a brand new episode of Unblocking Your Purpose. I am your host, Jada. I am here to share with you things that I have either been through or I've heard about, to be here to encourage you, inspire you, and hopefully motivate you as we walk through this thing called life together. If you are new, welcome. Thank you for being here. If you are returning, hey girl, hey, what's up? And for all of you who gave me feedback from the first episode, thank you, first of all. And for those of you who shared it with somebody else and gave me their feedback, thank you so much. We are all going through life. We are all going through things, having to deal with everything that comes with being all the titles that we wear, that we talk about often, right? But there's something about being in the purpose that God has for us. And I am a living testament of that. And so when I am coming and sharing and saying thank you, I mean it 100%, because yes, I love doing this. And we're going to kind of get into what I'm talking about in the episode. But when I am able to make time and choose to come and do this, it's because I know it's something that He has purposed in my heart to do. And regardless of all the things that are going on, I find a way to be obedient, because we are supposed to be good stewards of our time and our energy, our talents, our gifts, all of the things. And in spite or despite all the things that we have coming at us, we should be obedient. So in that, thank you for encouraging and motivating and inspiring me to continue to do what He has told me to do as I continue to unblock my purpose and walk out what He has for me. Because yes, like you, I'm in this flesh and it's not always easy, but it is rewarding as we continue to do what we're called to do. So welcome, one and all. Continue to share this. It means the world to me. And if you're able to do a quick little review, I appreciate you. No pressure, just asking. So last week, just a quick little recap. So last week we started talking about overwhelm, right? It's the first episode of the year. It was on the 5th of January. So we're brand new into the year and thinking about being overwhelmed. We have ourselves, we have society, we have family, friends, whatever, whoever, kind of putting pressure on us that we don't necessarily need, right? And we're pressured to feel like we have to have new goals and we have to start working out or eating better, whatever it is that we've put on ourselves. And so a lot of times we get overwhelmed and either we're rushing into it, or we're getting, burnt out, or we may not even be starting. And so I encourage you, if you haven't listened, go back and listen to it, because I think it'll be good for all of us as we are setting out for a new year, finding our purpose, unblocking our purpose, walking in what He has for us, to make sure that we are not getting consumed by the things that we don't need to be worried about. And so, sometimes we look at, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, when really maybe God is inviting us to do something different, to, maybe pivot a little bit. Maybe we're throwing away the whole playbook. I don't know. But sometimes maybe it's an actual invitation from Him for us to go to Him first and get guidance and get discernment, which we'll hit on a little bit here in a bit. To get those things before we're just rushing in and thinking that we have to have everything figured out and doing all the things and maybe doing things that we don't even need to do. So we are going to continue in that vein as we continue to move forward through the year and doing the things that we're called to do. And so we are going to remain in a state of calm, right? We don't want to be so amped up and so concerned with doing all the things that maybe we're not even supposed to be doing, that we are now just being so reactive, right? So let's stay in a posture of being calm as we continue to do the things that we're called to do. And so with that, I want us to talk about alignment with God's plans and how it aligns up with the desires of your heart. And also kind of talking about, some differences between discipline and discernment and some other things we're going to get into. All right. So if you're ready, I would invite you to come with me as we start getting into this week's episode. So, a lot of times for me, and again, you don't have to raise your hand, but I don't believe I'm alone in this. I feel when I have so much on my plate that I have so many expectations, one of myself, I have expectations of other people, expectations of society or just life, that is, I will get into such a state of, maybe we'll call it overwhelmed since that's kind of the wording, but I will get so just overwhelmed, we'll go with that, that I won't do anything. And so then there's like a resistance, right? Where I'm like, I don't want to do that. They're calling me to do it. I don't want to do it, right? Or it's just so much that I don't know where to start, and my body, my mind will be like, nope, I'm not going to do anything. And I think a lot of times, if it's not that, I am trying to do all the things. And so then I'm tired and I'm burnt out. And so I think that leads to really us being in misalignment. We are not aligned in where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing, because we're either taking care of things we don't need to take care of, we're fair catching things that don't belong to us, right? That instead of being where we're supposed to be in alignment, we are so busy doing these other things that then we become resentful, or we're not taking care of things, or we're just to a point where we can't do things. So why does resistance and fatigue signal misalignment? And I think it's just what I said. It's not necessarily like we're just trying to procrastinate, or that we don't want to do it, that everything else is just coming up and getting in the way. I think it's just really, it probably isn't so much ours to take on anymore. And I think a lot of times we feel that if we don't do it, that now we failed somebody. We're worried about, what is this going to do for somebody else? Are they going to be upset with me? How is that going to make me look? We're so caught up in that we will continue to push through it, even though we know that that is not what we are called to do. And so, resistance isn't always procrastination and fatigue. But maybe it's a lack of discipline, right? Or maybe it's really a lack of discernment. So sometimes we are so busy trying to do all those things that I just stated that we're really responding to something that does not belong to us, that does not fit the season, does not fit who we are anymore, doesn't fit who God is purposing us to be. And we might be fighting against it because we want to do it, or we think we should do it. And we get so caught up that now we're very confused, or we're frustrated, or we're trying to force things, and which that is going to lead to us probably making mistakes, or, that, oh, I knew I shouldn't have done that, and then you're sitting up here feeling guilty and feeling bad about it. And so, if we're not in alignment with what we are supposed to do, then we are exerting a lot of unnecessary energy, a lot of unnecessary feelings, and possibly like just knowledge. We're exerting things that we need to be holding on to fit into the things that we should be doing, right? So we find ourselves kind of spinning our wheels, right? Or do you have days where you're like, okay, I want to get all this accomplished, but then you're so sidetracked that you look and you're like, I didn't get anything done that I needed to get done. And then you might go down that rabbit hole of like beating yourself up or feeling guilty, or now we're trying to do even more tomorrow. Or maybe we're like, no, we're going the other side of things where we're like, I ain't doing none of that because look where it got me, right? So we end up with these big emotional swings, and it's because we are not truly in alignment with who and what he wants us to be doing, and what we are choosing to do, or allowing other people to kind of get us off track on, right? So misalignment causes friction. It's going to cause that internal just back and forth, that battle of like, oh, I don't want to do this. I know I shouldn't do this. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. It may cause friction with other people, right? Because we've now said yes to something that we didn't want to say yes to. And so because we said yes, we show up, and then we're not showing up with a grateful heart because we didn't want to be there, and they feel that, right? So being in alignment will allow for us to do the things that we are called to do. Now, don't get me wrong. It does not mean that it's going to be easy. It does not mean that, there's not going to be effort. It does not mean that we're not going to need to put thought and time and maybe even money and energy into. It just means that we're going to be able to go from a place of flow. Remember, we talked about this. If you didn't check that out, flow and being in our feminine energy, go back to last season. It was like toward the end of the season, but we want to be in flow and we want to be coming from our feminine energy, that yes, we can get things done without that hard go, 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 go. But really when we're aligned and he's showing us where we're supposed to be, yes, it's going to take effort, but it's going to come from a place where it's like, this feels good. Yes, I accomplished things, right? So I think it signals that misalignment. So if you're starting to look at things and you're like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right. Why is this causing me to exert so much? Why is this taking so much from me? Take a step back and take a look and say, hey, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And if it's not, you can pivot. It's all good. And you know what? You can explain things to people and they will understand. I promise you, they will understand. My brother and my dad used to tell me, Jada, you need to have tact, right? And I'm trying to teach that to my kids earlier. Like, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So I will give you that too. Not what you say, how you say it. And people are very understanding. So do not be afraid of being in alignment because you're worried about hurting other people. They will understand. So let's talk a little bit about discipline versus discernment. I know a lot of us start a new year and we're like, okay, what are the words that I want to focus on to kind of help lead my actions, my thoughts, all those things. And so for me this year, toward the end of the year, I kept hearing stewardship. Jada, you have to be a better steward of your time and your energy and your money, and all the gifts and talents that God has given you. That's why I spit that out, because if that touches you, please take hold of that. So another big word that comes up for a lot of people is discernment. We want to hear and we want to understand and we want to be, in connection with him, in relationship with him, so that we get it and we're not missing the mark. But a lot of times we also say, hey, I want to be disciplined. I want to, stay the course and do the things I need to do. And I will say we need both of them, right? But let's break it down just a little bit between the two so that, again, if we are doing things out of obligation versus obedience, we can start to just look at things and maybe tweak how we are approaching it. Doesn't mean that we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? It just means maybe we need to reevaluate things as we're trying to come to grips with all of the things that are being required of us. So a lot of times discipline will be like, just push through, right? We like to say, pray until something happens, right? For push, like just keep going. We can't afford to let anything drop. So just keep going. And there is something about discipline, right? And being able to have, maybe have a plan and you're staying the course of the plan, not being like your friend here who's like shiny object syndrome, like, ooh, I bought this. And so I'm doing this. And now, nope, something else came up and I'm over here. Like, I think there's ways and means and reasons and all the things that we need to have discipline. But when we're talking about discipline in respects to being in alignment and doing what we're supposed to do, maybe we need to look at it just a little different. Whereas discernment says, is this still mine to carry? Am I supposed to still be doing this? Lord, where am I supposed to be going? What are the plans? What is your purpose for me as I'm trying to unblock this? What do you have for me? And show me the steps I need to take. Not us having the plan and saying, okay, I'm just going to push my way through it. All right. So wait, let's talk about the verse, because I think it fits in really good right here. So this is out of Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6. I'm sure you've heard it a lot. I probably use it a lot because I think it just hits for a lot of us who are trying to get things done. But it's out of the New Living Translation, and it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take, right? So, yes, we want to have the discipline to do what we're called to do, but we need to have the discernment to know what that thing is that we are working on. All right? The discipline to do it, but the discernment first, so we know what it is that we're doing. We are leaning to him to say, okay, and you can go to him and be like, hey, Lord, I think I want to do this. I really want to do this. And then if he answers that and it's in alignment, go forth and do great things. He might say, he may not answer you. Or he might say, nope, we're not doing that, right? And we have to then be okay knowing he knows what's best for us. And then say, all right, Lord, one, help me out. I heard this from Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she said, if we're praying for something and it's not in alignment with what God has for us, then maybe we need to ask him, okay, Lord, help me to get over what it is that I said I wanted or what I think I want, right? Me paraphrasing. But it's like, if you have something strong on your heart and it doesn't seem like it's coming to fruition, perhaps we need to say, okay, Lord, can you remove this and show me where you want me to go and let me, give me what I need to do your will, to be obedient there, to have discipline there, to be a good steward there. And who knows, as they say, the good book says, when we look to where our help comes from, when we are looking up there and we're looking to him in the kingdom, that all the other things will be added. So maybe that's a not right now. Maybe it is a no, not. We're not doing it. You're not going to have it, but he will lead you, and what he has is going to be so much better. So discernment, what is it he needs and wants for you to do? And then the discipline to make that happen. So discipline will help keep you faithful, but discernment will help keep you aligned. We're going to put it in the right order. Lord, show me, tell me, pour into me, tell me what it is. And then the discipline to carry that out. I bet you will flourish. So another thing, right? Going back to, Lord, I want this, 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 right? Like our kids. And sometimes our goals, our own personal, hey, I want this, I want to do this, our goals will also drain us of our peace. Because if they're not, again, in alignment with what he has for you, it will drain you. So, if you're thinking of something that you want to do and it sounds great and someone has sold you this and okay, you're like, cool, let me get into it. But it's causing you anxiety. It's causing maybe some disbelief, some doubt. Maybe it's asking you to sacrifice some things that you don't feel comfortable sacrificing. Then I think it's good to say, you know what, that is not of him. That is not what I need to do right now, and be able to say no. Again, ladies, no is a sentence and a whole word. And sometimes that is a disciplinary action in itself. We, moms, wives, career women, we have to know that no is okay. And even telling ourselves no, even our flesh, right? And our bodies, and like we want to eat what we want to eat and do what we want to do. But sometimes we have to say no. And it's hard, but it's probably going to help you in the long run. So, a lot of times we will put all of these things on ourselves, right? Like I love a to-do list, and I'll be like, oh, I got to get this and this and this and this and this, instead of just being like, Lord, what do you want me to do today? What do you have for me to do? And maybe it aligns with that and maybe it doesn't. And we want to be where he wants us to be. We also don't want to get so caught up in social media and on our friends and family where we're trying to compare ourselves to them that we're losing sight of what he has for us. So again, our goals, our wants, our desires, our dreams, all of that can cause us to lose our peace because we are trying to attain something that he has not given us to go after. So I'm not preaching at you. I'm just saying, like, if that sounds like you, if that's kind of looking, you're looking at things and like, how do they have this and why are they doing this? But you haven't gone to him to say, what is it you want me to do? Then maybe start there, okay? And see how things maybe turn around in your favor when you are living, as I like to say a lot now, in your zone of genius. I'm sure you've heard it through all the books, right? Where are you living at your highest and your best? And if we're going to him, he's going to show us that, okay? So again, choosing to be in alignment doesn't mean that we don't get to do anything. It just means that we are now walking in the path that he has for us. And he's going to give us all the tools that we need to be successful. If he brings us to it, he's going to bring us through it. And yes, we're going to put in our work. And yes, we're going to do our work unto him. And then he is going to continue to grow that thing. And people are going to be looking and saying, sis, how'd you get there? How'd you do that? And then you have a testimony and you get to share. And then you get to give him all the glory for giving you the desires of your heart, for giving you the tools that you need to be successful, for giving you all of these things so that you can have heaven while we are here in this earth. So for now, maybe you look at it and say, hey, where can I scale back a little bit? Where can I take some things off of my plate? Maybe I need to go to him, not maybe, go to him so I can get some clarity on where he wants me to go. Because when we are more clear, then we are able to show it more confidently and we can get through things a little bit easier, a little bit better. And then, of course, saying no, not right now, maybe later, instead of just off the bat saying yes. That is going to help you in really fully realizing your dreams and your goals. So just remember that urgency a lot of times has us to rush into things that we're not ready for, that he has not prepared us for, that he hasn't even called us to. Okay? Where alignment is going to cause or result in us going calmly, going efficiently, going with a steadiness of his presence because he is right there with us. Or he's given us like, hey, go here, do this, don't do this. And we have to listen to it and then we have to obey. So obedience is my other word for the year. And then I had 3. I have to come back to you, but I know definitely stewardship, being obedient, and probably discipline, right? Doing the right thing that he has called me to do. So, just know that your goals and all these things that you want are not vows. You are not married to these. You are able to change them. And right now, I just want you to continue as we're going into this new year, take inventory. What still serves you? Keep that and ask God, where do you want me to go next so that this continues to grow and build the kingdom? If there are things that you no longer need and they are not serving you, then sis, let it go and be okay with that. If you have a hard time, I will coach you through it. I am a certified life and success coach. I will be able to and be willing to walk you through this because I want us all to win. I want us all to be, successful and happy and joyful and able to share our stories with other people so that they can have the same thing and they're living in heaven here on earth before we get called home. All right. So, you're not behind. You're not. If you have to let some things go, it doesn't mean you failed. We are to do what he has called us to do and be okay with that. And then share that with other people. And so that is what I hope you get from this message. We want to get into alignment. We want to have discernment before we have our discipline. And we want to look at what is serving us, what is not serving us, so that we can continue in his path that he has for us. So we can continue to what? Unblock our purpose. All right, sis, until next week, just start thinking of these things. Write them down. I have a couple of journals that can help you with that. Shoot me a DM. We can talk about it. I am here to help you so that you can continue to do the things he has called you to do. Until next week, take care of yourself. Start thinking through those. And remember, I love you. Bye.